What's happening guys, this is Sukesh and today I'm gonna do a very interesting speed and RAM management test in between these two amazing Android smartphones. On my left I have the all new Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus, which is priced at 65,000 rupees, and since it's just launched and also a really pricey device, you get the top hardware and the latest software. Now on the other hand I have OnePlus 5T, which is almost half the price, 33,000 rupees for the 6GB RAM variant, and honestly speaking, as far as processing power is concerned, there is not much difference. You have Snapdragon 835 on OnePlus 5T, 845 on S9 Plus. Both are blazing fast. There is no visible difference in speed. But there is a big factor to consider. The display on the OnePlus 5T is 1080p and you have a WQHD plus resolution display on the S9 Plus, so the GPU has to push much more resolution. The default resolution is FHD plus, but what's the meaning of paying 65,000 rupees for a smartphone and not utilizing the full resolution? So this Samsung flagship should be able to handle all the high graphics games at its full resolution without any lag. So let's get started with this speed test and compare it with OnePlus 5T featuring a full HD plus resolution display. I have disabled all the smart features to make this test fair, and both are running on Android 8.0.0. On Antutu benchmark, you can see that S9 Plus got a much better result. Let's first do the boot test, then I will check the apps and games and also the RAM management. Of course, S9 Plus switched off before OnePlus 5T. Let's now power on the devices. Well, of course, the new Samsung flagship boots faster than OnePlus 5T. Next, I wanna compare the fingerprint scanners you have at the back of these devices. Looks like OnePlus 5T is slightly faster. Let's try again. Apparently 5T beats S9 Plus. Let's switch hands to try again. There you go, OnePlus is faster. The animation on the Samsung device is making the process seem slower, but still I will say OnePlus 5T beats S9 Plus in this fingerprint scanner speed test. Next, let's try some system applications. First we have the dialer, so I think OnePlus 5T was slightly faster. Next let's check the cameras. Once again OnePlus 5T beats S9 Plus without any doubt. There we have the galleries, and this time Samsung device is much faster than OnePlus flagship here. There is no message on the Samsung device till now, so it's not a fair test, but still OnePlus 5T is unstoppable. It's blazing fast. In the Chrome browser as well, OnePlus 5T is apparently leading, so it's getting really interesting here. The all new S9 Plus is though quite snappy. It's not fast enough when you put this side by side with a flagship killer like OnePlus 5T. Well, this time S9 Plus was faster to respond on the YouTube application. Let's try to play a video, and I think both were almost instantaneous. OnePlus might be faster by milliseconds. Let's try another video. Here I have the tips and tricks for OnePlus 5T, and once again both responded almost at the same time. There are some third-party apps I want to try next. Here I have some Photoshop application. This is Photoshop Express, and I think S9 Plus was momentarily faster. The next one is Photoshop Mix. It's taking some time, but again S9 Plus was faster. So apparently the stock Android apps on the OnePlus 5T are faster, but this time OnePlus 5T beats S9 Plus. Let's try a few more apps before we conclude. There you have Lightroom, and though both were really very close, I think the Samsung device was slightly quicker. Next we have Photoshop Sketch, and once again the Samsung flagship is slightly faster than OnePlus 5T. Next I wanna try these tech news apps. Let's start with AppGeek, and OnePlus 5T was quicker as you can see. Next we have CNET application, and This time as well, OnePlus beats Samsung. CNET today also loaded faster on OnePlus. The Samsung flagship is still loading. I don't know why, but it looks like these apps are comparatively slower on this Samsung device. Next, I have some shopping apps. Well, Flipkart opened faster on OnePlus. Next, we have Amazon, and let's see what happens. Well, once again, OnePlus beats Samsung S9 Plus. Now both these devices feature 6GB of RAM, so there should not be any issues with RAM management. Galaxy S9 packs a smaller 4GB RAM, and the RAM management of that phone is actually not that good. It's much inferior to OnePlus 5T and S9 Plus. As I expected, 6GB RAM can easily handle these apps. Let's try a few more before I show you the games. Here you have the Chrome browser, and none of the devices reloaded this application, so it's still in the RAM. There we have the YouTube application, and once again it did not reload. Here comes the most important part, the gaming test. I have some really hardcore games, so let's start with Asphalt 8, and I really hope that this time the Samsung device will catch up, though it's actually lagging behind OnePlus 5T already. So let's wait. Well, S9 Plus was actually slightly faster than OnePlus 5T. The touch response of the apps are slightly slow, but otherwise I think S9 Plus is actually quite fast. Let's check what happens in Subway Surfers. Once again, OnePlus 5T is leading, and as you can see, OnePlus device beats S9 Plus black and blue, so the lower resolution display is really helping the device. There we have Brothers in Arms 3, another very graphics intensive game. Well, as you can see, this time also Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus is considerably faster than OnePlus 5T. The next application is 6 Guns, and as I expected, S9 Plus is the winner once again. So as far as high graphics gaming is concerned, despite having a WQHD plus resolution display, S9 Plus is able to load the games really very fast. There we have Temple Run 2, and well, just like Subway Surfers, Temple Run 2 loaded faster on OnePlus device. So for smaller games with medium graphics, OnePlus wins. For big games, S9 Plus is actually faster. Well, once again, Dead Trigger 2 is quicker on OnePlus 5T. So kudos to OnePlus for such an amazing device, but with a really high resolution display, this Samsung flagship is actually quite snappy. Now let's check the RAM management again. Well, let's first try to open some applications I have loaded before. So there we have Photoshop Fix. Well, there was a slight delay on OnePlus 5T. Let's try few more apps before we conclude. I want to try the Flipkart application that is open on both devices, and once again this app refreshed or reloaded on OnePlus 5T. So looks like the new Samsung flagship excels in the RAM management. Here you have the YouTube application reloading on both phones. Now it's time for the gaming check. There you have Asphalt 8, the first game I opened, and looks like 6GB of RAM is big enough to hold all these games. I mean, there are very few phones that can handle all these games at a time. If you check the speed test of S9 with 4GB of RAM, you will see that the phone really struggles in RAM management if I open 3 or 4 games. So looks like 6GB of RAM should be standard for a flagship. 4GB is not enough if you do lots of multitasking. So 4GB RAM on S9, which cost 58,000 rupees, is a big shame. I think I do suggest you to go for this S9 Plus just by spending 7,000 rupees more. I have also found that S9 is considerably slower than S9 Plus and OnePlus 5T. Check the description of this video for the speed test on S9. Let me show you the free RAM on S9, which is just 0.9 gigs, so you do need 6 gig of RAM if you do lots of multitasking, if you browse a lot with multiple tabs, if you are a hardcore gamer. And overall in this speed test today, I think S9 Plus did really well for graphics intensive games and also for third-party apps like Photoshop apps, which are really big apps. In RAM management also, it seems the Samsung flagship is somewhat better. But overall, OnePlus 5T is an amazing device and it's really very fast. In fact, in most apps, OnePlus was faster, and considering the price of this device is just half of S9 Plus, if you're looking for a high performance device, just get this 5T or wait for OnePlus 6. But as a whole, S9 Plus is a complete package. Well guys, that's all for now. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and keep in touch. This is Sukesh signing off. Have a nice day.